it's Mel. How are you? Super excited you're here, and I am going to be going to Hawaii in just a second, where Alyssa's standing by. And I know the question that you have on your mind is, how the hell do I get on a video with Mel Robbins and get this question asked, answered? How do I talk to her about this thing? Just go right here. There is a number. You can text me. Here's how this thing works. When you text, I give you a response back that I pre-wrote. I wrote it, but it is pre-written, and that allows you to opt into my texting platform, which is a free community texting platform. It just means you and I can connect via text. I don't sell your number. It's just the easiest, fastest, most direct way for you and I to stay connected and you to get your questions answered. So without further ado, let's go to Hawaii, where I am super jealous because I am in rainy, cold Vermont right now. But Alyssa's standing by in Hawaii with a question. I cannot wait to talk to her. Alyssa, welcome.
Hi. Hello.
It's great to see you. So what's going on? How can I help you?
So my 7-year-old, I have a 10-year-old son and a 7-year-old, he's going to be 7 next month, has been having tantrums often and unleashing on us and his brother very frequently. And my original question is, how can I tell if this is some child psychological quarantine phenomenon, or he's just being himself, because he can be at home, whereas he doesn't do this in school. And then my follow-on question is, how can we help him?
Okay. So, couple things. First of all, are the tantrums crazier than normal? Or just more frequent? Like, what is it that has you concerned?
They're more frequent. I wouldn't say they're more intense.
Okay.
More frequent.
And when you intervene or you let him work himself out, does it take longer than normal for him to get himself calmed down? Or is the calming down process also pretty standard to what you saw before quarantine?
I think it depends. If he's only 7, so if he's tired, it takes him a little longer. Depending on the time of day, it's easier to reason with him. He's pretty much, he's normal, but he is not one who wants to conform. He doesn't like to be uncomfortable. If he doesn't want to do something, he's not going to do it, and I respect that about him. I have another child I didn't get any practice with this because he's totally opposite.
Well, so here's a couple things. Here's the good news. First of all, you're clearly an absolutely awesome mom, because you already know the fact that our kids hold it together at school, and then when they come home and they're tired or they're just hanging out with us, they let it all hang out because they feel safe to. And so that's not a bad thing that he's having tantrums at home. Sometimes it's a sign that he actually trusts you and feels comfortable at home. So that's awesome that you know that. The second rule of thumb about kids is that if you think something's off, something's off. You have to empower your intuition as a mom. And so I think, and then I have one other question. Do you work from home?
No.
Okay.
I go into work.
Okay. And do you still go into work?
Yeah, I cut my hours, so I'm doing about 20 hours. I work at the Costco down the street. My husband works from home, and he goes into the office a couple times a week.
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you for being there for all of us, and for showing up at work, even though it puts you at risk and potentially your family at risk. So we truly appreciate that. But I think that what happens for kids, because what I know is that I myself am busier right now and more distracted than I've ever been. And the schedule is off in terms of what your family normally operates like, given that your hours are reduced, you're home a little bit more, your husband's kind of staggered his work life, and it's very confusing for kids. I know that even my teenage son is sort of like, okay, I need your attention, and when I'm home normally at night, I can have your attention. I'm not used to you not being focused, mom. Like, so he even experiences it in his own way. I suspect that this is his way of processing all of the uncertainty and changes that he might not even understand that he's absorbing from you. It's going to sound weird at an energetic level. And so when he sees all these changes and mom washing her hands like furiously and all of us having this kind of strange new thing going on and him not being able to see his friends, intellectually, a 7-year-old understands, hey, we got to protect people. Hey, school's not going to go like it normally does right now. Hey, we got to wash our hands. But emotionally and from a nervous system level, he's not quite able to connect the dots between what he knows versus what he's feeling in his body. Does that make sense?
Yep. I mean,
how have you, I agreed. How have you explained what's going on to him?
Gosh, we just tell the kids that there's a virus going around like the flu, and it's worse because there's no cure, there's no flu shot, there's no coronavirus shot, and we don't we want to stay away from the hospitals, and you know, they're living through history. I don't really get that. I tried to show them the videos about germs that
like the ones with the water and the things spreading. Yeah. Have you asked him what questions he has?
You know, I don't know specifically. I've tried some of your techniques about how are you feeling, you know, on a scale of 0 to 10. What can we do, Eli, to help you when you feel so angry?
And have you asked him what he's angry about?
I think, you know, in the moment, no, because I always just assume you don't feel like practicing piano or you don't feel like doing your worksheet and you're tired. I get it. You can be upset, but you cannot go around the house breaking all the pencils.
Right, right. I think that there's an opportunity, because one of the rules of thumbs with kids that are younger is I used to make the mistake of oversharing and offering up way too much information when my kids were way younger. And I can think of a really classic example of my grandmother had died and we were going to go to the funeral. Or no, it was my grandfather. My grandfather had died and we were going to go to the funeral. And I started explaining, you know, about a funeral and that there will be a body there and that people line up and this is what happened, da, 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 da. And I offered up all this information, and what was interesting is that when I finally asked, well, do you have any questions? They said, will there be food? And so I had given them all these details about the body, and it will look like him, and he's cold, and he's this, and he's that, and they're like, will there be food? You know, like, and so I offered up way too much information. I'm not saying that you're offering up too much information, but I do think that based on what your son is absorbing, either because he overhears conversations or he sees something that might be on TV, or, you know, maybe his older sibling says something, he might have a lot of questions. And what's interesting about living in this moment of time is you and I and our kids are also thinking through so many different things. And it's burning through a ton of brain power and fuel. And so if you think about going to Costco, for example, most of us would normally hop in the car or jump on a bike and go to Costco and get what we need and then go home and not even think twice about it. But now you think, is there going to be a line? How long is it going to take? Am I putting myself in danger? Should I, if you're in it, you're like thinking, did somebody touch this? Oh my God, everybody has a mask on. This is super weird. Like, so your mind is doing this. I guarantee you his little mind is doing this too. So normally when he would sit down and he would do piano and be annoyed about it, because who the hell wants to practice piano? I'm with your son on this one, even though he needs to. So I'm with you on this one too. Normally he'd just be tired and annoyed. But at this moment, his brain is actually gassed with no energy. So a couple things that you can try, and this is based on having a son that has major ADD and dyslexia, and he would drop significantly midday, is having a chocolate milk or having a snack handy is a hugely powerful cheat to help give him a little brain fuel. And if you do that a half an hour before the piano or whatever he normally acts out about, you might find that he has a little bit more ability to focus. The second thing is, I would sit down and ask him, hey buddy, I noticed you've been really angry lately. Do you have any idea why? What are you angry about? And you could ask him if he doesn't know or he shrugs his shoulders, you go, does it confuse you that mom and dad have different schedules? Do you have any questions or concerns about the coronavirus? Are you mad you can't see your friends? Like, he might not even be realizing it, but if you can ask a couple leading questions, he might access something and talk through it, and that could really help relieve the pressure. But I think your son is probably dealing with the same level of mental fatigue that you and I are dealing with, and that's what's making these tantrums increase more and more.
Okay. My husband and I kind of suspect, I didn't think about that, so we're going to try that. We also suspect that his God-given personality is just that
he's just a kid that's going to push back.
If he doesn't feel like doing it, he isn't going to do it, and hopefully he grows out of it. But it is inherently in him, and when we're not there later on in life to coax him and motivate him with the music, the homework playlist, or the snacks, or reasoning why, even though you don't feel like doing it, you should do it anyway.
Right.
How can we just help him and not assume he's gonna grow out of it? Because he's more like me. My husband is very motivated.
Well, look, there are some of us that are more hard-headed, and he knows who he is, it sounds like, and that's a really good thing. I think what you really want to do is continue to push him. And it took us, all of our kids play guitar, it took 4 years of pushing to get them through the hump of doing it for themselves. He's 7. There are going to be things that he's got to do because he's a kid and he lives in your household and he was born to you that he's going to have to do because that's what kids do. You listen to your parents, whether you like it or not. And then there are things that you can do to help him. So, for example, when he has a temper tantrum, one of the leading experts that we had on the talk show that I learned a lot from this season talked about how don't engage in their upset. Let them sort it out. Don't intervene. And it's an important thing because it allows your kids to learn coping mechanisms to cool themselves down. You can say, hey, buddy, I know you're upset. You're welcome to throw a temper tantrum. Could you please just do it in the other room? And don't break anything, because if you break something, you're going to get in trouble. You can yell, you can scream, you can stomp your feet, and you can ask him when he's calmer, what are some things that you could do or I could give you to help you calm yourself down? Might it be music? Might it be something else? Like, get him to start to engage with you in thinking through how are these tantrums working for you? Because you're not getting my attention. I'm just asking you to sort it out over there and giving you some chocolate milk. What do you think you need in order to calm yourself down and not stay angry? Your son is smarter than you think.
He's very intelligent.
Yes.
He's an interesting little dude.
Yes, which is why asking questions is the key to the parenting method for him. Because he might feel like nobody's hearing him. He might feel misunderstood. He might not understand why. So you can say, can you think of any reason why I might be asking you to learn piano even though you don't want to? Obviously you don't have these when he's having a temper tantrum, but he is going to be just fine. You are doing exactly everything right. Your intuition is signaling that something's up. And because it's more frequent, it's just smart to just check in with him and ask him what's up. And the big line that always cracks my kids wide open is this one. You really don't seem like yourself lately. Is there something going on? And 9 times out of 10, they're like, yes! And it gets them. Does that help?
It does help. We have tried when he's calm, like, hey, summertime is online learning, this is the perfect time. Do you want to take a class in something that you're interested in? What are you interested in?
He's not interested in school, I can tell you that much.
He loves to, he really loves to chill. He loves to chill.
That's okay. That's okay. The faster you get your work home done, the faster you can chill.
That's what we tell him.
Well, then you're doing everything right. Some kids are just stubborn. That's it. That's it. He's not in your life to make things easy. He's in your life to make you grow.
That's for sure.
And it seems like he's doing a very good job because you're a very, very smart mom.
Thank you. I don't feel like it.
Well, it just, when you have a kid that doesn't match your style, I know that you said that you were a little stubborn, it does make you feel like you're doing something wrong. When you have a kid that pushes back on everything that you're doing when you're already exhausted and just wanting the best for them, it does make you feel like there's something that's wrong with you. But he may just be sorting out where his independence is versus where your authority begins, and testing you and pushing up against it. And that might be his personality for the rest of his life. And so questions that get him to open up instead of pushing back, that's going to be your superpower.
Okay. I'm hoping that'll help us to channel it, because he has a lot of good energy. We just need to channel it.
I would ask him, if he's that smart of a kid, what do you think it would take for you to only have one angry temper tantrum a day? What would have to change? Would you have to go to bed earlier? Would you need to have a little more free time? Do you think you need more snacks? What do you think would help you?
Okay.
And he's probably going to say, not go to school online.
Yeah.
Right, you're going to say,
watch TV all day.
Yeah, you're right. That would 1,000%. What if we broke up your day a little bit differently? So that you got smaller amounts of TV and then a little bit of school and then a little more TV, so it felt like you were getting more of it. I don't know.
Yeah. This is constantly modifying, so yeah.
Well, we're all going to have to do that until the pandemic's over.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Well, I wish you guys the best of luck. It's amazing to see you. I'm really jealous of the fact that you're in Hawaii and I'm here in rainy, depressing, cold Vermont. And I wish you the best of luck. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, will do. Thank you so much for everything, for all of your content. It's been life-changing. Thank you.
Oh, that's awesome. I hope this helps. I really do. Because, this advice just might be, you got a kid that's stubborn and it's going to suck for the next 7 years. I have no idea. And then he'll go on and create the next Google. And he'll be on TV going, yeah, he was a really stubborn kid. Yeah, he pushed back against authority. Yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all.
I have a different prayer, but I won't say it.
What is your prayer?
I say, Lord, just help Eli to not get arrested later or somebody pregnant.
Girl, let's raise these standards, okay? Let's raise these standards. That's not going to happen because he has two parents that are watching over him, and you are asking questions and seeking input, and he's only 7. And you also are wise enough to know that we're in the middle of a pandemic, and nothing has really changed about his behavior other than the fact that what he was doing before, he's doing it more often. That tells me the kid's tired. It tells me there are emotions that he's not able to access and process speaking, and so he's feeling it out of his body. When my son had dyslexia, and we didn't know it yet, he would come home from school and he would sit at the counter. It breaks my heart to even think about this. He was in the 4th grade, and he would literally start going, oh, I don't want to do homework. I don't want to do homework. And he'd pull at his hair, and he would bang his head on the counter, and he would just say, I can't do this. I'm stupid. And in the beginning, I thought, this son of a gun he has ramped up his tantrums. So does he really hate school this much? And then when it was the intuition hit that, this is something more than just not wanting to do homework. This is now chronic. This is now something that he can't console himself around. This is creating major conflict in our family. And there's clearly something going on that this kid can't communicate to us. And what was going on is that he was massively dyslexic. The kid couldn't read. And the strategies he had used to try to get by before that were no longer working. He felt stupid, like he could not even get his brain to work in the way he was trying to get it to work. So everything about school became a tantrum, a tantrum, a tantrum. And so, do you have issues right now with whether or not he's having difficulty based on his learning style, learning from an online platform? Maybe, particularly if you connect the dots between just the learning and the fact that that's where the tantrums are. Maybe it's something about his learning style. I don't know. But what I do know is that when your intuition goes off, and this is not part of what you see typically, it's usually because your kid has some kind of change going on and they don't know how to communicate it. And a tantrum is the way that a kid expresses frustration, anger, sadness, stress, fatigue. And it's like a big knot of emotions. And so that's what may be happening in terms of what's happening with Eli. Now, look, it could just be because we're in a pandemic and mom and dad's schedules are weird and adults are stressed out and the news is scary and I don't see my friends and this is fucking confusing. And so he doesn't know how to process that in his little body, so he has more tantrums. Could be that the online learning is very overwhelming and he's frustrated by it and he's not able to feel successful like he normally does at school. And that's what he's trying to express. Or maybe he's just pissed off because you seem more distracted because you're managing so much right now and you've got a job that's really important. And I'm sure that's compounded the stress in your life and you're worried about relatives. And so he's getting your attention. I don't know. The fastest way is to start to connect the dots between when is he doing this and what is it telling you about when these things are happening, and then start to eliminate things. Let's do the food. Let's talk about the schoolwork. Let's ask him some questions, and I guarantee you, with a kid this smart, you'll get to the answer. Does that help?
Helps a lot.
Awesome. Let me know what you find out.
Different strategies. Yeah, thank you.
You got it. All right. I'll see you soon.